What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is gonna be a bit of a different video. Usually I do individual reviews, but today I thought I would go over all the horror movies that I watched in October and kind of just give my thoughts on them and if I would recommend them or not. There are gonna be spoilers in this video just because of the nature of it. Just telling you my thoughts. So I'm gonna keep the spoilers minimal in case y'all want to check these out, but there are gonna be some spoilers, just a heads up. So first off, we're gonna start with Eight Eyes. Eight Eyes is on Shudder. It's about this American couple that is vacationing in Serbia. They meet a character on the train called Saint Peter. Saint Peter seems very charming. I don't know if I would use the word charming. He's very friendly and he offers to show them around, but actually he's luring them into something super sick and twisted. It's one of those films that's just straight up weird, but also kind of nostalgic feeling, like a nostalgic feeling in a way of the style of the movie. There are parts of it that I did like, and there are parts of it that I did not like. With that said, the first and second act I did like. It felt unsettling. Like, you know, in the first act, like, oh, he's friendly, harmless, whatever. How is this gonna turn? But as time goes on, as they're hanging out, he just gets, like, you feel off about the situation. You feel uneasy, like, okay, there's something up with this guy, but I can't quite place my finger on it, type of thing. And then whenever, you know, it builds up, like the tension builds up and things start happening, you're like, oh, yeah, I knew I felt something weird with that guy. Third act was kind of messy, like, especially when it gets to his family. Like, they've already abducted the main character, and they've also abducted the boyfriend. Like, you think he's dead, right? But then, like, she gets in there, like, he's still alive, but not for long. The whole thing with the mom, they kept her corpse, and she's like speaking, her spirit, the spirit of the mother is like speaking to the main character, telling her to open all 8 of her eyes, like explaining, you know, this eye's for this eye's for that, and like just literally like going through each eye, explaining what it's for. And then it finally gets to the name of the movie, Eight Eyes, where all 8 of her eyes open. And then she's like, I don't even know if I should call it possessed, but it's the end of the film, and she's like going back to the US, and she's like, I don't even know. It's weird. It's weird. She literally kills all of the Serbian guy's family and just like leaves him alone. But yeah, would I recommend to watch the movie? You know, I feel like this movie would be more enjoyed if you're under the influence. That was Eight Eyes. Now let's get to a much older movie. I've never seen this movie before until now. Till I saw it on Shudder. Like, I'm surprised I've never seen this movie because I watch a lot of old horror movies and I'm a fan of slashers. Mute Witness is about a mute makeup artist that is working on the set of a slasher film in Russia. This movie is from the 90s, but I actually surprisingly really enjoyed this movie. This makeup artist stays late one night. She hears some sketchy stuff going on, so she goes to investigate, and she sees that some of the people have stayed and they are making a snuff film. Twist is they kill the actress that is in the snuff film and stuff her body in a trash bag and throw her out like she is nothing. Makeup artist Billy, I think her name is, she witnesses this, but obviously she physically cannot say anything. They realize that there's somebody on set that has witnessed this, but they don't know who it is, and they're actively looking for her. She ends up getting in contact with her sister and her sister's husband, and she is able to tell them, and they get the police involved, but like nobody believes her because they cannot find the actual body, even though she's trying to point it out to them. Hey, she's in here. Like, I saw her body. Like, she's in here, but they can't prove it because they literally cannot find the body of the woman that was just murdered. So they just brush it off. After she witnesses that, they start trying to hunt her down to kill her, because now that she has seen this happen, like, she's now involved. So you just see this girl fight for her life silently because she can't talk, and it's great. It's a great watch. Honestly, it was really entertaining. It's a fun watch. It's a lighthearted, well, no, it's a lighthearted slasher movie. If you can call those movies like lighthearted at all, like, you don't have to think too much, but it's very enjoyable. I would definitely watch it again. You know, it's not that deep, but it's definitely fun and entertaining, and I totally see the appeal. So definitely recommend Mute Witness. Again, that is on Shudder. I don't know how long it's going to be on Shudder, but you better check it out before they get rid of it. Another Shudder movie that came out during the pandemic that I feel like isn't being talked about a lot. Wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I thought it was just going to be honestly stupid. And it was stupid, but like in a good way. Like, it was funny. Like, it was a horror comedy and slasher, obviously. The main character, Joel, who is a film critic for a horror magazine, unknowingly gets himself into basically a self-help group for serial killers, and he has to pretend that he's a serial killer. He doesn't become their next victim. It's funny because they actually have these meetings. It reminds you of like Alcoholics Anonymous, but like serial killers. It's like a self-help thing. And it's in a Chinese restaurant after hours. What? That's good. That's funny. Like, come on. That's not where that is not the type of place you're expecting that to happen. Like, they find out that he's not a serial killer, and he has to fight for his life, and it's great. And one of the other serial killers is actually a good guy and is hunting the other serial killers like one by one. She's one of those, like, I only kill bad people type of serial killers. She's really likable, in my opinion. Her chemistry is great. He's funny. One of those nice guys, not like the fake nice guys, but like one of those guys that you just root for, and you're like, I don't want anything to happen to you. You're so precious. Like, please nobody kill this character type of characters. And I'm so glad that he survives till the end. I'm not going to give anything more away. I'm just going to say, definitely check out Vicious Fun. It's literally viciously fun, but yes, Vicious Fun. It's on Shudder. Came out in 2020. Surprisingly, a banger of a horror comedy. So I would definitely recommend checking that one out, especially if you like horror comedies. Okay. Next, The Houses October Built. Now, this one is a found footage classic that I had never seen until this year. You know, I can see why, but at the same time, I felt like it had basically no plot. I mean, it's a group of friends traveling around the South, I think primarily in Texas, going to different haunted houses. One of which is local to me. I won't say which one, but I loved seeing that. Like, I didn't even realize they were like actual real haunted attractions. So that was like a nice surprise. Like there was really no plot in my opinion. It didn't really, like, it was just like, it was entertaining, but it wasn't like no part of it was scary to me. It felt more of a documentary, like on like haunted attractions, than it did a horror movie. The only thing that I can really give it credit for was the very end when, you know, the friends get tricked into going to an exclusive haunted attraction and they end up getting killed. I mean, the ending felt so anticlimactic for me because obviously they don't know they're about to get scammed, but they get scammed and taken to an empty, pitch black warehouse where they can't see anything. They're given glow sticks and the friends are killed off one by one silently. Like you don't even hear them getting killed. They're just like, you can't see anything and they just stop answering each other like, oh, I can't find you. And like they get killed, but you don't hear anything until like the final girl. Like it's so stupid. Like honestly, like the premise of it is creepy because it's like, ooh, like this could happen to you type of situation. Like you got to be careful, which I get the message of that. I really do. I just feel like they could have done a lot more with this movie, and just the ending, it, like, despite it being a little bit creepy, I mean, you can't see anything, and I know that's part of it, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really care for it. So would I recommend it? No, I wouldn't recommend it unless you want some background noise on the TV while you're doing your homework. Now we're going to get into We Are Still Here, another movie that is on Shudder. Grieving parents that just lost their son move into this house. They move into this house not knowing that there are malevolent spirits that live in this house that need to literally kill people to feed themselves. But the twist of this movie is that the spirits of this house are not the real enemy. The townspeople are the real enemy because they let people move into this house and they do their best to keep these people in this house in order for the spirits to kill them to feed, so that way these spirits don't wreak havoc on the rest of the town. So they try to keep the balance. Definitely recommend it. It's kind of weird, kind of gory, but it's a good watch. If you've already seen my Terrifier 3 review, then you already know how I feel about this movie, but this was another movie that I did watch in October, so I do have to include it in this video, okay? Obviously, loved this movie. I love the Terrifier franchise and Art the Clown and Damien Leone, David Howard Thornton, Lauren Lavera, just the whole Terrifier team. Y'all already know this. The Clown is my most favorite slasher villain in recent years. I mean, I can't say good enough things about it. It's just one of those films where honestly, you can turn your brain off, like not in a bad way, but you can just sit there and enjoy it for what it is. A fun slasher film with a hilarious and also menacing slasher villain. Practical effects are top notch. There's not a reason that I wouldn't recommend this movie unless you cannot handle gore and if you don't like slashers, then maybe don't watch it. But if you do, definitely give it a watch. It's you know what I mean? Like, you can't go wrong. Another movie I watched in October was Cuckoo, starring Hunter Schafer as Gretchen, which is the main character who moves in with her dad and stepmother in the German Alps and starts working at a resort that is very questionable, to say the least, and discovers that the town is hiding a sinister secret. Cuckoo are these humanoid like creatures that have these amazing and creepy abilities. I'm not going to say too much on it because honestly, just watch the movie. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't want to spoil more than I already have. Basically, Hunter Schafer does a great job at nailing this character. I honestly loved the concept of this movie, but I feel like they didn't take it far enough. Like, I feel like there could have been more. I actually think this movie was rated R, but to me, it felt more of a PG-13 horror. It just felt like they were holding back and they could have done a lot more. I don't have too many complaints about the movie. It was pretty solid. I wouldn't say that it's scary. It was more of like I want to say it was more of like a sci-fi thriller, but you know, it was pretty unique and it was entertaining. So I definitely recommend to watch it. And if you love Hunter Schafer, then definitely give it a watch. We are almost done. Let's get to Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot is on Max. If you've seen the original Salem's Lot, like the TV show from the 70s, then you're going to be disappointed by this movie. Even if you haven't seen it, you're going to be disappointed by this movie, okay? If you're not disappointed by this movie, then I'm surprised, honestly. An author, Ben Mears, returns to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot to get inspiration for his next book that he's writing. And he discovers that the town is actually being taken over by a bloodthirsty vampire. I feel like I couldn't connect with any of these characters. I felt like this movie was very rushed. The character development suffered because of that, I think. But the only character that I actually liked and cared for was the main little boy, who was much better and a lot braver than any of the adult characters. I'll say that I did love the cinematography. It was beautifully shot. I think that's literally the only thing that I liked about this movie. Like, the villain reveal was disappointing. I feel like they revealed him too soon. I mean, I don't know. The execution of this movie was not good. It was rushed. I wouldn't recommend to watch it. Let's get into possibly one of the best horror movies of the year, The Substance. The Substance is about Elizabeth Sparkle, who is an actress that gets fired on her birthday because she has, quote unquote, aged out of show business. She's too old to be on her TV show anymore, so they let her go because they're looking for a young and hot new actress to take her place. Mrs. Sparkle ends up taking this thing called The Substance, where she injects it into herself, and it ends up making a carbon copy, a younger version of herself that literally like emerges from Elizabeth's own skin, which is why you see like the main poster of her back all stitched up, because that is where her younger self, who is played by Margaret Qualley, that character is named Sue, comes out of Elizabeth Sparkle's back. This one is a body horror, so if you like those, definitely recommend to watch it. There are a lot of themes in this movie that are great. So it's one of those movies where it's going to be thought-provoking. It's going to get you thinking. And the double standards between men and women, especially, you know, like societal and show business, you know, stuff like that. It really showcases that, and it showcases the unrealistic and ridiculous expectations of women. Demi Moore and even Margaret Qualley are phenomenal in this movie. So I recommend to watch this movie because it's just great. Like, the third act is so wacky and weird, but it's just so entertaining. This is not a movie that everybody's going to enjoy. In fact, the last time I went to watch it in theaters, a lot of people in the theater did not enjoy it because they didn't understand it, and they were just looking at it with a surface level point of view. Even then, if they understand the themes, it's not going to be a movie that everybody enjoys. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. The message of the movie is really good. It has a really good message. So definitely recommend to check out The Substance. Last but not least, another slasher movie from the same team who made Terrifier 3. This movie is called Stream. It is on several streaming platforms. I think it's on Apple TV, Fandango at Home, I think somewhere else, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's not deep or thought-provoking, but it's just something that another movie that you can just kind of sit down, watch, turn your brain off, enjoy the practical effects and the gore, and the kills are pretty creative, so it's fun. It's a really fun concept. Basically, this family ends up going to this resort so they can have some quality family time. They unknowingly sign up for this twisted game where they are supposed to be hunted down and killed by several killers. I think there's like 4 of them. They're all masked, so they're all anonymous. None of them talk. Yes, David Howard Thornton is also in this movie. He plays one of the killers. It's very obvious which character he plays because I feel like he just starts doing the Art the Clown like body language. If you like slashers and creative kills and practical effects, definitely recommend to watch it. It's not mind-blowing by any means, but it's pretty entertaining, and it's a good film to watch with friends and to laugh at. That is my list of all the horror movies that I saw in October. Thank you guys for watching. If you've seen any of these movies on this list, let me know what you thought of them in the comments below. Again, most of these movies are on Shudder or on Max or in theaters. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your week.